guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be talking about 5 things you need to do if you want to get promoted quickly at your job. Before we start, we have to think why. Why do we want to get promoted? You might be thinking, obviously because we want more money so we can provide more for our family and give back to our loved ones. Or you just want to have extra money so you can buy a Porsche 911. You see how I didn't say Lamborghini or mansion? Remember, this is only a stepping stone for your greatness, for your eventual growth into having your own business, being an entrepreneur. Because the only way, if you ever want to retire in life, is by having your own business. Anyways, here's the step-by-step guide. So let's start with number 1. Track everything. I don't care if you shovel poop, throw out trash, therapist little kids, or write code at your job. Make sure you track every single little detail. You need all this data to be able to make sure you know what you're doing so you can show off for your manager and boss or your company or employer. I'm a software developer, so I'll explain my situation. So make sure you learn how to abstract what I'm saying and apply it for your scenario. For example, we have this thing called commits. Git commits especially is what it's commonly known as, where you push your code changes to production so you can track it. Every little code change I make it a commit. So by the end of this week, I have 50 commits on average. So already on paper, I sound great, especially against my fellow peers who have 20 to 25. It sounds like I'm doing double the work. In addition to this, I also track on my calendar who I'm talking to, what we talk about, the topics, the point of the meeting. I then also write out a step-by-step plan for what I do for work, the procedure I'm following when I'm developing my script, my codes, when I'm fixing refactoring, the issues that arise in my code like the errors, the syntax, the amount of times I get up to get coffee from the community cafeteria, the amount of steps I take in my Fitbit. Even if it's not relevant for my work, if it happens during my workday, I track it. Now to help you think abstractly, let me just give you another situation to think about. Let's say I was a therapist at this company. I would track the amount of kids I'd be talking to, the amount of adults, recording the interactions if I get the permission, writing down the problems that arise, talking about the step-by-step thing I did to talk about it with them, writing down the problems, my response to it, maybe finding the patterns of conversations that I'd be having frequently, like if they're talking about their kids, their family, you know, whatever. When I mean anything you can track, I mean anything. You need to track every single little detail. You must write it down. I promise you, you'll forget, so please write it down. Now you might be asking, Samii, what do I do with all these numbers? What's the point of tracking all these numbers? I just wrote them all down. What do I do now? I wrote down how many times I used the bathroom. Who cares? Great question. We go on to point number 2. Number 2, you have to quantify everything. What? Samii, quantify everything. What does that even mean? Sure. Let me just tell you the definition. I'm going to turn my head to the right and read it off to you. Quantify means to determine or express the quantity of. Now, what does quantity mean? The amount of number of materials or immaterial things not usually estimated by spatial measurement. So now you know the definition. I will simplify it for you. Convert everything you have into a number or a metric. For example, in my situation as a software developer, I wrote 150 lines of code this week. I pushed 50 commits this week. I had 3 pull requests this week. Whatever. My new script ran 10% faster by 25 seconds compared to last week's script. My changes caused this thing to happen, which caused production speed to go up by this much, reducing tech debt by insert whatever. I interacted with 15 people this week, found this common problem between this team, between that team, and we should add it to our next sprint. This is extremely important, guys. You are showing your impact you have at the company you work for, showing how the actual work you do provides value for the company. This will literally be your offense and your defense when it comes time for promotions, layoffs. Think about it. You have the numbers to back it up. Unlike your coworkers who are not doing this, you will have literal proof that, hey, I provide value for this company, and it's not about how long I've been here, it's about the impact I have on this. And the best part is, no one has to do this for you. You're doing this all yourself, naturally. You will constantly have evidence of how much of a great employee you are. Or if you're a bad one because of this, now you know where you need to improve. And you'll have evidence that you're doing a bad job, and you know to yourself that, hey, I'm a bad employee, I need to improve or else I will get fired. Now, you might be thinking, but Samii, what do I do with these metrics? They are either A, helping me boost my emotions and making me happy, or B, making me sad and upset that I'm a crappy employee. Listen, I don't care about your feelings. The point of this video is about how you want to get promoted faster, how you want to make more money. I'll tell you what you gotta do with these numbers next. Now we're gonna move on to step number 3. Have a weekly meeting with your boss/manager. Listen, this is extremely important. If you're really so lazy and you don't feel like doing the other 2 parts, you have to at least get this part down. I'm telling you, this is the most impactful one. Make sure you find a way to talk to your direct boss one-on-one every week. Trust me, this is extremely vital for your growth. In these meetings, you will talk to your boss or leader about everything you did that week. Not the random plain numbers, but the quantifiable numbers/metrics that you gave, talking about the impact of the work you had. Now, if you can't do that, you have some work to do. Trust me. Now let's say you got to this part, you're about to go to your first meeting with your boss, right? Now you're gonna say, Samii, what do we talk about? Do I just start with that? No. You're not gonna do that. Since realistically, this will be about like a 30-minute meeting at most, your job is to get the most bang for your buck out of this. So what you communicate is extremely vital for this meeting. Firstly, if you haven't already communicated with your boss, you're looking to get a promotion, you wanna tell your boss that. You wanna also tell your boss, you want them to envision you at the next level. So you can say something like this. So this is what I'd be saying to my boss specifically. Hey boss, I'm currently a software engineer 2. However, I'm looking to get promoted to a senior engineer as a software engineer 3. So I would like you to compare my work to this level. Now, obviously you're gonna make this approach more softer, more approachable, blah, blah, blah. You already probably worked at this company for a bit, so you know how you're gonna do your semantics and then, adjust it for your job. But now your boss knows you actually care about your work and you care about your job. You care about money, and it's gonna initialize the mental state of, oh, I guess this person's proactively invested in their career. As their boss, I should be doing a good job and helping assist. It would definitely look great for me as the boss to tell my boss and my team about my team's growth. Now, if you don't see the big picture yet, but you doing more and wanting more, it will help your boss advocate for your team's growth and your growth. So at the end of the day, it would be with their best interest to help you. Now, then you discuss the work you did for that week. You're gonna give the metrics, right? After this, now your boss is gonna be like, wait, you're doing this much work and I didn't even realize, and you provide this much value for the company and I didn't even know. I gotta make sure I have to keep you. I gotta make sure you're happy as an employee. You're doing so much work for us. And they're gonna be thinking, you're basically doing my job for me. Remember, your boss doesn't know everything you do, right? If you want proof of this logic, just think about it. 2 weeks ago, what did you do on Tuesday at 3 p.m.? I bet you can't even tell me. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. This is what I thought, just silence. However, if you did say something, then I'm proud of you. Then you're already at a good start. After you talk about your work, then you're gonna talk about the challenges you're currently facing. This can be related to like the difficulties you're facing, like of not having access to certain things, you don't know what to do with these things, you don't know how to do a certain like activity or task, you find this part challenging, right? Business logic, whatever, right? You wanna just mention it. This is extremely vital for your boss to feel like they're actually being your boss and helping you mentor you and be a good leader. This is how you be a good boss. So it's just in their best interest. Now, this is the last part. This really pushes you at another level. You're gonna ask your boss, what can you do to improve your work? Whether it's social work, actual work you're doing, the way you communicate, whatever. You're gonna ask your boss for their thoughts on what you should improve. Anything they can think of, you want them to tell you. This is extremely important. Your boss will make sure they will tell you everything you can do to improve at your job and as a person. Remember, their job is to help you grow. So if you did everything else right, this will just easily fall into your lap. And the best part is, your boss is literally giving you the problem and solution, and you can just easily fix it. Guys, I just dropped you the 3 hardest tips of your life to get promoted at your job. This is going to change the course of your life. I'm telling you. Once you implement this, once you go all in and just accept the truth. If you haven't learned anything by now, you know I'm here to help you succeed. If this channel is for you, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below, and make sure you share the video. We gotta help each other grow, guys. In addition, we have a Discord community full of hard workers, people who are trying to succeed and become great in life. If that's you, you better join below. The link's in the description. Now we're back to the video. Now imagine you do this every week, day in, day out. You're talking to your boss 52, 54 times a week in a year. You're getting like what, 1% better every week, at least. After this, you'll be 52% better at the end of the year than when you started. Think about how much of growth that is. That's a lot. And if you're only improving 1% somehow, some way, you know your peers are definitely improving like at the half of the rate you are. And when it comes to promotion time and they have to choose, oh, who provided the most value? Who did the most for us, right? It's just your boss will be already thinking of you. Think about it. You're having this much more growth and you tracked it. Your peers have this much growth and they're not tracking it as much. You're actively communicating with your boss this much a week. You're actively improving yourself this amount of time a week. Just think about how fast you're gonna grow. Think about how actively invested you are. And you're living in the moment. You just keep trying to do something better every time. And you're basically doing half the work for them. You did half your boss's work for you. You're already self-sufficient. Your boss doesn't have to think, oh, is this guy doing any work? Oh, is this guy providing value? Whatever. You're already telling your boss all that. It's just easy promotion at this point. So why wouldn't they promote you? Now you might be asking, Samii, I work in this very political job where I have to play office politics and insert whatever problem you have here. I have been here for this many months, but I still haven't got any sign of growth. Well, I got great news for you, buddy. We're going to step number 4. Number 4, the triple N attack. Network and network. Listen, your job is to get your name out there. Constantly, every day, introduce yourself to someone, talk to someone new, find a way. Doesn't matter. There's people everywhere in your office. It doesn't matter. You can meet for someone for 10 to 15 minutes. Just talk it up, get to know them, see what they do. It's not hard. You just gotta be a good person. And just literally ask about the work they do. You'll just hear something. Everyone would probably be open to talk to. And if they're not, guess what? You have so many other people to talk to. And guess what? Let's just say they aren't. you have the person right next to them to talk to. And if that person doesn't want to, you have the person right there. And somehow if the whole row of people don't want to talk to you, you got the row on the other side. It's okay. Guess what? The office is full of people who are open and ready to talk. So you will always have someone to talk to and network with. Trust me, you're just not trying. You're probably just scared. Just get your name out there. You ever have to remember, everyone's playing the same game as you. They want to get better. They want to grow, but they just don't know the steps the way you do. I'm teaching you in this video. And listen, I'm also awkward too. I don't always get it right. Sometimes I have a bad introduction, but trust me, you get over it. After the first 2 minutes of awkward small talk, you just like, you start talking it out and then you get to hear it and you become friends. But just please remember their name at least. Now, we're going from steps to tips. Tip number 5. If you're really struggling to get your name out there and you can't quantify anything because you just don't have any work and you're pretty lazy and you build this habit that you need to fix, just ask about the issues people are facing. Your job is to now literally look for work. Just constantly keep looking for work. Your job as someone who's trying to get promoted is to find patterns of problems that you see coming, and your job is to fix it ASAP. Starting with your manager first, saying like, hey, is there anything I can do? I'm looking for more work to challenge myself. Maybe you can take what they had planned for Q2 and do it in Q1, what they had planned for Q3, do it in Q1. Whatever. Just get a head start. Look to see if you can do more for your team or team members. Trust me, there are problems. You just have to look for them. Now, secret tip number 6. Trust me on this one. This is gonna be great. Please bring the vibes to work. If you're the guy who's doing everything perfectly, you're tracking all your work, you're doing the numbers, you're quantifying everything, you're constantly solving problems, but the only negative is you're a grouch, trust me, you still won't even get promoted. You know how I can prove this to you? If I gave you 2 people, right? One's a grouch and one's a nice person, who would you rather hang out with? Probably the nice person. So, like, don't do that to yourself. Remember, this life is fun. You're trying to get promoted faster. The journey of getting promoted faster, you learning more, you experiencing more, is meant to be fun. At the end of the day, your job is to learn as many skills as you can and eventually implement them and become great. And don't be upset if you don't get promoted in a year. It's okay. Remember, you're undoing a lot of the stuff that you built bad habits on top of. It's going to take time. Just focus on pushing and being great and trust the process, because eventually everything will just fall into your lap. Because think about it. Luck falls to those who work hard versus the ones who sit back. So you might be asking, what gives you the right to talk about this topic, right? Listen, as someone who used to work minimum wage at Dunkin' Donuts, Chipotle, I was able to become a shift manager within 2 months. I used to speed run my goal of learning everything and making sure I understand everything. I wanted to make sure I worked really hard. Now, I got 2 return offers at 2 different technology companies as a software developer. And that's from me at my 3-month-long internship. And I guaranteed it. And I got the return offers within the first month and a half. Trust me, guys, you just have to put the work in.